Guys, this video we are looking at carbohydrates. So carbs, you're probably really interested to see what I've got to say about them. But the first thing, I'm just going to break it down in relation to the calorie amount, what its purpose is, and so on, the different types we can have. So when it comes to carbs, there are 4 calories per 1 gram of carb, just like your protein. So for example, if you have 50 grams of carbs in a food source, that's going to equal around 200 calories. Okay, so just be aware of the calorie amount. Now, the sources of carbohydrates, there are different types of sources, and I'm going to talk about those in a brief moment, but I just wanted you to understand what happens when we consume carbohydrates. When you consume a carb source, once it's ingested into the body, it's broken down into glucose, which is basically sugar. And that then is transported through the bloodstream around the body. It's transported to the muscles, which are needed when doing exercise. It's transported to the brain for thinking and stuff like this. So basically, our carbs are our energy source. That is their main function. They are consumed to give us energy. Now, when we look at our different types of carbohydrates, we've got good carbs and bad carbs, or complex carbs and simple carbs. Okay, now at the end of the day, they have the same units of energy or the same calorie amounts, but they do have differences. So for example, we'll talk about the good carbs or the complex carbs. These are sources like potatoes, like rice, like so brown rice, white rice, like pasta, like brown bread, like oats. These are all carb sources. So when they're consumed, again, they're turned into glucose and brought around the body to give us energy. Now, these carb sources contain vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and fiber. So they have added benefits also, which we need for energy throughout the day and to feel good. Let's switch over now to the simple carbohydrates and the difference. So these simple carbs, I'm talking about things like sweets, biscuits, things like this. When they are consumed, they are directly consumed to glucose basically, and they don't have all those added benefits. They don't have much fiber, if any. They don't have vitamins and minerals, so you're not getting a lot from it. All you're getting is a direct energy source. So a lot of the time when you consume these direct glucose sources of carbohydrates, you get that initial boost of energy, but it's not sustainable long term. Now at the end of the day, as a balanced diet, it's important that we have some of these treats or bad carb sources because we want to enjoy ourselves every now and again. But it's important to note that they're not going to give you that much benefit when it comes to your training. And that's why carbohydrates are super important, because we need them, as I said, as an energy source to get a really good training session in. Now, people think that carbs are bad. And if you overconsume these high calorie bad carbohydrates or simple carbohydrates, yes, you're going to gain body fat, because again, at the end of the day, the most important thing is your calories, your calorie amount. Whether you could literally eat your whole diet full of carbs and no protein and no fats, and if that was still in a calorie deficit for your body type and for you particular as a person, you will still burn body fat. So carbs aren't bad in that sense. Just be mindful that these bad carb sources are normally high in calories because they've got lots of sugar and lots of different things in them. So be mindful of the amount that you're consuming there. But at the end of the day, carbs are really important regards training. And you need to find a balance of how many carbs you consume. So the only thing that really counts regards the macros is your protein target. If you can hit your protein target, which we said was 2 grams per kg of body weight, well then the other calories are going to come from carbs and fats. You can decide to have more carbs if you want and you enjoy your carbs, or you can decide to have a bit more fats, as long as there's a balance between the two of them to equal your total number of calories consumed. So that's basically carbs, guys. The 2 different sources. Its primary purpose, remember, 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. They are important for your diet to make it sustainable and to make it adherent through. So eat your carbs, have fantastic energy, and get great training in. The next video now is going to look at dietary fats.